Hi everyone, welcome to this introduction to pivot tables. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview of what a pivot table is and how it works in practice. So what is a pivot table? A pivot table is a function in Microsoft Excel which allows you to take a set of data and summarize it in any way you like. It summarizes it in a clean, concise way, and you can also cut the data up in any way you like, slice it and dice it. It's very beneficial, very useful. I would say it's probably one of the most popular functions in Excel, definitely one of the most popular functions. I myself use it all the time. It's so useful. The fact that you can take any type of data, no matter how big, I mean, it could be 10,000 lines, 100,000 lines, a million lines, doesn't really matter, the concept still applies. You can take that data, summarize it in seconds, and I mean that in seconds. It can take data and give you total amounts, percentages, all sorts. I'm going to just show you this in practice so it will make a lot more sense. So here I've got a random set of data. It's all fictional data, and I'll just show you how many lines I've got. So 51 rows. Now, as I said, this can be 51 rows, 100,000 rows, a million rows. The same concept will apply. Now over here I've got employee ID in this column here. I've got name in this column, then department, start date of the employee, and their total earnings over the time they've worked. So let's say I'm going to just use a random example. So you've got this random set of data and you want to know, or let's say your boss has come to you and said, I've got a meeting in 5 minutes and I need to know what the total earnings were for everyone by department, not by individual person, but total earnings by department by year, and I need it in 5 minutes. Okay, well, bit of a struggle because you've got 5 minutes, and let's assume you don't know how to use a pivot table. Now the start date here, just by filtering here, I can see we've got 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 5 years worth of data in there, earnings and department, 5 minutes. How am I going to do that? Well, one way is I could actually filter on each one. So I could actually type marketing. In fact, let me go to the bottom of this table and I'm going to freeze the pane. I'm going to click on view, freeze top row, so that will stick the top row. Now if I assume I don't know how to use pivot tables, I could type marketing in here. I can't spell there. Still can't spell. Bear with me. Marketing, and I could filter on marketing and then see, okay, well, in 2008 there were $458,000, and then 2009 $361,000. I could actually type that out each time and do that for marketing, and then for every other department by year. That's going to take me a long time. I need this answer in 5 minutes, and with a pivot table you can do it in 5 minutes. Let me show you. So I'm going to click insert and then pivot table. In fact, firstly, let me just show you where you would click. So you can click anywhere inside this table that you've got here. It doesn't really matter where. So I've just randomly clicked on A1. Click insert, click pivot table, and then this covers the entire data set that you're working with. This table will come up and say select your data range. That is my data range. And then where would I like this new set of data we're going to work on produced, in a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? Doesn't really matter, totally up to you. There's no right or wrong answer to that. I'm going to pick existing worksheet so we can have a look at the new set of data I'm going to show you with the old set of data. So I'm going to select a random cell, click OK, excuse me, and there we go. So I've got a table here now, and as you can see there's 4 different areas here. So you've got filters, columns, values and rows. Now these all represent the table itself. So columns will represent the actual columns, rows will represent the rows, values are numerical values only. So in values, the only thing that would be inputted in this box over here would be numbers only, any type of numbers. And filters means a filter. You could put any of these column headings in here and you could filter down on them. I'm going to show you this all in person, so don't worry. So let's actually do this. So the question was total earnings by department by year. So at the top here you can see all my column headings are already brought across over here, and we're interested in the department. So I'm going to bring department and I'm going to bring that down into rows over here. So you can see what's happened already. It's taken the department and stuck them into my rows column here, each one unique. So for example, for marketing I have, well, finance, so I've got 7 different rows for finance. I don't want to see 7 different rows of finance in here. It's only going to show me finance once, because that's what I want. I don't need it several different times, or 100 times, or a million times. Just need it once, and that's what it's done. Then start date, and I want this by year, so I'm going to bring start date across to the top, and then earnings is the last thing that we need. And earnings is a number, it's a value, so numerical values will always go into values there. And very quickly, and that's literally took seconds, I can see, I'll just neaten that up, get rid of decimal places, just purely formatting. I can see earnings by year, by department, like that, very quick. And to prove that to you, so 6567623 is a total earnings according to this table. If I was to add everything up in here, that comes to 6567623. So this has worked, and that is a pivot table in its essence. That's the very simplest form of a pivot table. Now, one thing I'll mention is when I dragged start date across at the top, you can see it's come up as 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, I'm using Excel 2016. If you use Excel 2016 or onwards, this is what will happen, because as you can see, you've got a start date and you've got all the different dates there. In any previous versions, if you were to drag that across, you will actually have all the different dates going across the columns, and that's what's supposed to happen. But what Microsoft have done is, with this update and updates going forward, they've realized people don't actually want that. They do drag the start date of the data across, but then in their own method they'll summarize this up so it shows by year, and manually they can do that. You can actually type in a formula in here, such as year, for example, and I can stick this in and it will give me 2008, and then you can drag that down, add another column, and then put year across. And that's a manual way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't take long at all, actually. But Microsoft realized, this is what people want, so they've already done this automatically. If I actually wanted to see each individual date, I can simply right click and click ungroup, and it will show me all the individual dates. And as you can see, this will go all the way across, which is not what I want. It gives me the same figure, but it's not what I want. I want to see it by year, and that's what it's done. And that's the brilliance of Excel in itself. It knows exactly what you need when it comes to data analysis. And just to let you know, we've got loads more videos on these things. We've got if statements, VLOOKUPs, formatting, drop downs, all sorts. So click in the top right corner and you can check out all our other videos that we have. So carrying on here, that is a pivot table, as you can see, and exactly what I wanted. And it only took seconds. I can even, if I wanted to, I can see the percentage. So for example, if someone asked, all right, great, 771,000 for customer support is fine, but what is that as a percentage of total earnings? Well, I could do a percentage formula if I want to do somewhere else in the spreadsheet, but right in this table I can do that in seconds. There's no faffing around, no calculations to do. I simply click the value of sum of earnings, there's an arrow there, click value field settings, and I want to show my value as a percentage of the column total, and click OK. And there you can see customer support is 11% of total earnings, marketing is 20%, human resources 19%. Tells me all of that in seconds. I mean, that's the beauty of this. Even if I wanted to, I say this was a larger amount of data going down to 100 rows, I can color coordinate this in seconds, so it would tell me the highest number in green and the lowest number in red, or vice versa. I'll show you that right now. I could select this here, click conditional formatting, color scales, high to low, and right there the highest number 20% is green, the lowest number is 4, which is in red, and then in between you've got your yellows and oranges, and again seconds. If you want to see conditional formatting in action as well, click in the top right corner, there's a video on that. But that is Excel at the very basics. Pivot tables are the very basics. Now I appreciate I went very fast. Again, this was just a demonstration to give you an idea of what a pivot table is. But if you want any more information, go into the description, website's there, you can click on there. We offer tuition services and any consultancy services that you may have, and we can go through this in more detail, a lot slower and tailored to you, whether it's learning something for a job interview or for a new job and you just want some tuition, or you just want to learn Excel, or if you work for a business and you've got a piece of work that you want some help in, contact us, let us know, and we'll help you out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video.